Welcome everybody, and welcome to my first podcast of 2021. I'm delighted to invite Rob Flaska, like Alaska, onto this first podcast. We met on the crazy world that is Clubhouse. We'll touch on that in a minute. But the reason I'm interested to get Rob on today is Rob is all things TikTok, both as his TikTok handle, The Growth Sensei, and your Ant channel as well, which we'll touch on. And we're here just to chat about Rob's experience around how he's leveraging the crazy world of TikTok to do what he does, and what can we learn from a B2B perspective as to whether TikTok's an appropriate channel for us. So Rob, welcome. Really appreciate your time today. Introduce yourself to the audience. Who are you? Where are you from? What's the story? And let's see where this goes.
Thank you. Yes. Thanks for having me. Yes, we met on the crazy world of Clubhouse. It is a crazy, crazy world, let me tell you. But yes, my name is Rob Flaska. I'm 38. I have 3 kids and I live in Southern California. And I've been on TikTok for about a year now, just studying it ins and outs. I actually work as a full-time account sales representative for an ERP software company called SAP. And that's my daytime job. And then my nighttime side hustle is posting about ants, as you mentioned, and getting people set up with customers with their business on TikTok.
Awesome. So what started your journey into the world of TikTok? What caught your attention, and what made you think, you know what? I have my day job, but I'm going to give this insanity a go. And why ants?
Yeah, you know what? Why ants? Yeah, we'll get into it. It's kind of funny. But yeah, I've been watching social media forever. I've been a consultant. A brief intro into my background. I'm a martial arts instructor. I used to teach for 10 years. I got into the video game industry. So I have kind of that coaching background, and I went into the video game industry. So I have a little bit of a unique eye when it comes to making videos and understanding talent. So how did I get into TikTok? It was basically me just wanting to express my creative vision. And it just so happened that it's with this ant farm.
Cool.
So yeah, so it's ants, literally it's ants. And this blue stuff kind of pops off on TikTok. And the story of me starting is really, hopefully this will inspire people just to get going if you don't think you have something to say. Mm-hmm. My story of ants is that we have an office. We used to go to the office. Yeah. One of our guys loves ants, and we decided to get 10 ant farms and have a competition in our office. So the competition being whose ants live the longest.
Fair enough.
And I just started posting it on TikTok. Competition, we named our farms, we named our ants, and it kind of took off on TikTok, and ended up getting like 150,000 followers in like 2 weeks. Now we're somewhere around 400,000 followers. Yeah. And I was able to leverage that and work with an ant farm company for a year-long deal to talk about ants. So I always enjoy getting my guests on, and those of you that know me and listen to this, there's very little structure or necessarily background research that I do on people before they commented, because this is what I love. Who knew that we could go from martial arts to ants, and now you're an ant influencer? so there we go. We're an ant flu. Let's get it clear. It's an ant influencer.
I apologize.
Oh, you're good.
I've learned something new today. So with regard to using TikTok, obviously the app is pretty straightforward. And for those of you that still don't know what TikTok is, Rob, do you want to give us a quick overview, explanation of what the platform actually is?
Yeah, TikTok is a next level platform that focuses on 60-second videos. You have to make sure you capture somebody's attention. It's utilizing current trends, current songs, and really the TikTok is about the community. Mm-hmm. It's about people understanding the song that's going off right now that's working really well, and how to adapt to a certain trend. Mm-hmm. So if there's a trend that has you just putting text above your head and just looking at the camera funnily, and then putting some little text bubbles about your niche, it's all about adapting your niche to the current trends of TikTok. And that's it, just getting tons of views everywhere.
And when you kind of set out your journey with the ant farm initially, and then into the other kind of channel, which then I'm assuming came off the back of that, the growth sensor, and that now makes sense in terms of your martial art background. Was there any objective in terms of end goal that you were trying to achieve in terms of being an influencer, for example, or was it merely let's get on this thing, let's just see what happens?
Yeah, I knew TikTok was going to be big. I'd been staring at it for 3-4 months, just consuming, just watching, understanding how to do it. When I started the ants, nobody was doing anything with it. So I figured it'd be fun, and it did pop off. And then a lot of people followed. There was one person posting about the stuff that I was doing. Now was hundreds. The trend kind of died, but we actually made ants trending for a couple months during quarantine, because what better during quarantine to get an ant farm?
That's so cool.
So it worked really well. But with the end goal in mind, for me, it was flipping my mindset from consumption to creation. Yeah. So I've always wanted to be an influencer. I ended up being an antfluencer, but I always wanted to just get out there and just push and stop just getting on my phone and scrolling. So I just switched the mindset to just creation, and I use the ants as my little niche to just adapt to trends and have fun with it. It's just with a little spin of the ants. So people enjoy seeing, oh, look, how is he going to do this trend? That sort of thing. And I just use it as a way for me to learn as a creator. And I use it now as a test bed to test for my clients. So I'm basically using my 400,000 account to test the algorithm, test certain things, how everything's working personally.
That's really, really, really neat. And so then out of that, then the growth, so am I correct in thinking the growth sensei was then born for you to then help business understand themselves through your own experience of how they might use TikTok to boost, views, customer base, and so on?
Yeah. What happened was I was actually getting tired of posting about ants. Shocker. I'm not the biggest ant person, but you know what? It's fun. It's relaxing to look at, but I wanted to grow business, and I've always been a coach, and I'm a consultant by trade. So I've just wanted to leverage, my understanding of the algorithm, my thousands of hours of staring at this thing. I wanted to leverage that. And that's where it's a big decision to have a second account, because it's a lot of content, as you know. Yeah. So, it's been a struggle being just a side gig and having two separate gigs. So both of them have kind of fallen. The time has just not been there, but it's okay. I have my clients set up and we're pushing through. So that's what I'm doing now.
And how is I'm assuming your employer is aware of everything that's you're doing on TikTok. So, you say, are you employed by somebody, or are you an independent consultant? Have I understood that correctly?
No, so I'm employed. Yeah, it's not through SAP directly. It's a family business, but I'm doing everything on the side, getting up at 5:30 to do a podcast, or before my 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, I'm basically just shooting videos, editing at the end of the day. It's all side hustle material. Nothing's really affecting the job too much.
But in terms of the brand that you represent through the family business, and of course, ultimately SAP, I guess, as a business, they have no issue with what you're doing on the side per se, because of course the challenge with social media, right? No matter what platform you are on, be it LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, doesn't matter, is that you are there as a person. And even if you say the views are my own, all that kind of stuff, which we know is a completely pointless statement, if you end up doing something which then goes viral, the press always end up going, X person working at X company has done this. And so just purely by proxy, you are associated with that brand. And even myself as an independent, I have to be sometimes just kind of thoughtful of the videos I do on LinkedIn, because I'm like, whilst they represent me, by proxy, I also represent the brands that I consult to, because I talk about that. And these are big law firms, big accounting firms, globally recognized organizations. So was there anything you had to do to kind of circumnavigate that? And Ants, is safe. And obviously the growth sensei stuff is safe, but there is still this massive perception of what social media is in kind of the Kim Kardashian world, if you will, and he who shall not be mentioned, versus what social media is in the B2B space. So have you had to handle that, or do you have any advice to people when they're thinking about going on this journey, whatever the platform might be?
Yeah, no, you know what? I haven't dealt with it too much. It's been pretty off the cuff. It's been just basically completely separate. I've had some customers say, hey, what are you doing over there on TikTok? What are you doing with ants? I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's fun. But I'm pretty separate, so it's not too big of a deal. It's just for fun. It's on the side. It's not really on the clock. So as long as you can do it within the time frames you have outside of work hours and you're getting your job done, that's the goal. I haven't had I'm not working with anybody that needs to, I'm not very visible in the other world, my actual 9 to 5. It's just more straight to the clients. It's nothing too big. So I'm okay on that side. As far as giving advice to others, I'd say, yeah, just keep it a little tame. If you have your name out there, you're working with law firms and you're making a big stance politically. I mean, I'm talking about ants, so it's pretty simple. I would just say keep to your lane if you're worried about what your work would say. And then make sure, like sometimes I've seen it a lot of times where you might have to put, you know what, this is not a representation of my employer. So you have to place that every now and then.
And every so often you sometimes see the odd mistake. And it's interesting, there are lawyers on TikTok. There are law firms, UK law firms on TikTok, and the CEO. And I interviewed Anthony, whose name escapes me momentarily. He's at The Lawyer. He's one of the first lawyers on TikTok, 2 million plus followers, content verified. I saw his video the other day of the skateboard that they're all now getting, the creators, what he's putting on his wall. And he was saying that the reason he does TikTok, even though he's a lawyer, it's his hobby. He's got a Facebook page, an Instagram page, while other of his colleagues, go to the game, they do tailgating or whatever. For him, his hobby is TikTok. And actually it's now helping generate business because it's behind the scenes, it's a bit of fun and what have you. So before we kind of move into whether you believe this is appropriate for B2B, let's just take a step back. So you've come from a creative background, so you kind of already get video and how to do video and so on. I've always been obsessed with GoPro. I've extreme sports. I like skiing, snowboarding, horse, and all that kind of stuff. So I had a GoPro from kind of year dot, strapped that to my head and kind of self-taught editing, and I'm now kind of more comfortable in front of the camera. And it's always amusing when friends of mine take they make fun of me when skiing because I've got like the narwhal on my head and I've got this camera out there taking all the different angles at once. Yet when I complete the end edit, they're like, oh, that's really cool. I'm like, well, that's why I was doing what I was doing.
Exactly.
Right? But video for a lot of people, doesn't matter again what the platform is terrifying. Not only is it terrifying because it's raw, because it's this. It's then the technical skills required to kind of make an edit look half decent. So what, in terms of the concept of video just more broadly on social media, through your experience and through working, with, the brands that you do, any advice or guidance for people that are maybe on the fence but just aren't taking the plunge because that kind of fear is holding them back? So from a fear of being, oh my God, it's video, to, oh my God, technically I don't know what to do.
Yeah. That fear is real in everybody. It's even real in the 2 million lawyer follower because everybody's judging themselves based on their last post. Not everybody, but most people. And that's why people, analysis paralysis, and people are analyzing and they don't just get going, so that the message to everybody, I would say, and my clients, and first of all, it depends on where you're at in your journey. If you've been doing video forever and editing, or you have a big background, your quality is probably gonna be a little higher. But a lot of people that say, oh my gosh, like I'm banned, or it looks like my videos are being suppressed, maybe your video is just not that great, or maybe you're just not that far along in your journey yet. So what I recommend to my clients, depending on their follower base and where they're at in their skills, it's completely custom when I'm working one-on-one. But basically, if you're just getting started, you have to just post and see what's happening. You have to get started. That's the first thing. If you don't just go, you're not going to learn and get results from the actual audience. So that's number one. Number two is, just learn every single time you're posting. You've heard it before. I'm not the first to say it, but you have to just learn what you're doing and get better. If you look at my first ant videos, there's no editing. I edited within the app. And then I basically made a commitment to myself that every video I'm going to learn something, whether it's on the app or about a sound or a different way to cut it or tell a story. You have to just be in that mindset. That's the goal for me.
It is. And also, this is the other thing I say to, I focus more on LinkedIn and other social channels is kind of my main forte as I'm learning TikTokers at the moment, is that video isn't for everyone. And that's the other thing to consider, is that it's not for everyone, nor should everyone necessarily do video. And I'm certainly not sitting here saying, hey, everybody jump on the app on TikTok and start posting under a corporate brand or a corporate account, because that start backfiring.
That could backfire. I mean, I shouldn't be on video. Are you kidding me? I have moles everywhere. My hair's gone. Like, that's okay. You know, you just got to get over that fear, which was actually a big part for me, getting over my fear of staring at the lens. It's a personal journey, but for a brand, it's a little different.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna have your marketing team. You've got your vision, you've got your colors, you've got the way you need to present your product. But it's definitely the next level place for brands to be. And you don't need to show a face. You can just show brand, show the product. Like the lawyer. The lawyer's just crushing, I imagine.
He is, and there's in the UK, there's the CEO of Stevenson Law, Alice Stevenson, as the CEO. She's on there, and she's calling it as she sees it, and as she sees the industry in the UK, and it's ruffling some feathers. It is, but fair play to what she's doing. So it's been interesting for me, kind of just as a voyeur, starting to see when I haven't been on for how long? Been on? I think 8-9 months now. Mostly kind of watching, then starting to post more, then starting to try and do the two. What's been fascinating for me is watching certainly how B2C brands have started to adopt it through the ads that I'm now seeing, and what's coming through. Other than actually seeing a business on there, I've yet to kind of from my world see a B2B business really starts to leverage it. Do you believe that a traditional organization such as a big ERP software vendor, for example, or a big accounting firm or a big law firm or what have you, can or even should leverage TikTok? Is there relevant audience on there? And then based on your experience thus far, and I totally recognize that you're on this journey yourself in terms of this journey of discovery, as it were, and they're bringing out new things every flipping time at the moment. I mean, Cartoonify is an awesome little filter, which is my last Ask Alex video. But is there a place for traditional business, as traditional business goes, on TikTok?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. If you download the app right now, or it was in the past, the first thing it says on TikTok is trends start here.
Okay.
And it's true. I'll actually ask you a question where, like on LinkedIn, have you seen a lot of repurposed TikToks on LinkedIn on stories, or a lot, right? Yeah, because a lot. So, I mean, it creates trends with the younger audience, definitely, but it's a lot older than a lot of people think it is. There's people, like a lot of moms at home just posting and becoming influencers, people that have their own internal, like personal brand. A lot of personal brands are very big on TikTok, right? Some people are changing their lives. There's a guy that spins art. He spins paint on a canvas, and he left his 6-figure job to now do that full-time on TikTok, and all he does is spin paint on a drill. And now he's got a YouTube channel with 500,000 subscribers, and now he's got a whole nother life in this span of 8 months. So the personal journey for certain people, and then personal brands, is very simple on TikTok. It's harder to explain and get people in on the bigger brands.
Yeah.
I mean, like SAP, you'll see a lot of football teams or sports teams get in there, and it's really fun to interact with them. And if they comment with their fans, so let's just think about it that way. Let's just pretend like SAP, let's say it's a huge football team in the States. If that football team comments on your post, that fan is now a fan for life, right? Because it's so awesome, because the brands are engaging that way. Now, if it's a big C-level, like let's say SAP, they can also be more relevant on TikTok if they switch their thinking, because really it's attention first. You need to get attention. Yeah. So regardless of how you do it, I don't have it now, but I had an SAP Business One logo on my ant farm for the first 3-4 months. You'd be shocked how many leads I got just from that. Because people, for my actual business, the actual corporate gig, and they're like, you know what? My dad works for SAP. And I'd go live and I'd talk about SAP. Oh, yeah, he has a manufacturing. We're in manufacturing. So he has a manufacturing business. cannabis. We work in hemp and cannabis. Okay, I have several leads I've gotten through just having SAP Business One on my ant farm for the actual business.
That's such an interesting concept, because I also I talk about that, and I talk about you're not only you market, and again, whatever the social media platform is, because I do accept that for some, I don't care what industry you're in terms of what you're selling or how you're trying to get to the end decision maker. I do accept that even though there are 4 billion plus people now on social media, not all of your end decision makers and influencers within that buying process are necessarily going to be on whatever the social media platform is every day. But the proxy, so whether that's the son or daughter of, mum and dad who were working on that, or it's the next layer down in that going, hey, I saw this video, I saw this post, I know that we were talking about this in an internal business meeting, let's print the blog post out, let's show the video on my on my phone. So you can get to more or less anybody on the planet who is conceivably going to buy a product or service to what you do via social, and TikTok is just another channel with a different, but also, to your point, actually the same audience. And I always tickles me in terms of, you've got the OK Boomer videos now, and you've got dads of TikTok, mums of TikTok, the Gen X. Gen Xers are coming back to everybody take over. This is our manner. We invented this, and so on. So very clever ways to spin the conversation, etc. And your point about people repurposing TikTok content onto LinkedIn, I do also suggest to some of my business B2B clients, I go, look, you're already on Instagram, and Instagram is geared up that way in terms of the portrait versus landscape. You're already using Instagram stories, you're already using Instagram live with video. Just repurpose that into TikTok and just kind of see what happens. And it's still this, I'm not sure about it, and this and that. So for a lot of organizations, this content actually already exists and it's already there. It's just shifting, I dare I say it, that perception and that mindset, which possibly could be, obviously TikTok was getting some negative press recently-ish around the potential ban. Obviously, it's got its challenges in India at the moment as a platform. Did you see any concern from your business clients when that was all being touched upon about TikTok may be banned in the US market?
Oh my gosh! If you posted about it, your views just all of a sudden went up because everybody was so cognizant of it. Every time there was a ban, something, the first person that actually posted about that ban, their video went crazy, and they got tons of new views and followers. So everybody during the period, those 2 months or so, when Trump was saying, "I'm just going to get rid of TikTok," because he was basically pissed off at the TikTok community.
We won't
go into that one, but the whole community, gosh, Rob, what do you think? Should I be worried? Should I start posting here? Should I post on Reels? I need to convert. Everybody was just converting and diversifying to different platforms, which is a lesson. Everybody should be diversifying anyway.
Okay.
Not just because something's going to be banned. So that's a great point on repurposing content. I don't know if that answered your question, but I think going into repurposing content and getting people out of the comfort zone, I need to get out of my own comfort zone and repurpose my stuff to LinkedIn. I just haven't prioritized it yet. There's only so many things you can prioritize, but I'll give you a little story on one of my clients. His name is Justin. This is a really good lesson of just repurpose. Now, Justin, he does stop motion animation. The animation where you stop, you take a picture, and it ends up looking like a video. One of the best in the world. So when I first started on TikTok, I said, hey dude, I blew up like 150,000 followers in a couple weeks, and you just got to get started. He had 30,000, maybe 20,000 followers on Instagram, and he's very talented, extremely talented. He puts a video anywhere and it just goes crazy. Even if you put it on LinkedIn, it's animation, but it's so appeasing to the eye. And I said, you know what? Don't make any custom content because he didn't have the time. Just post your stuff on TikTok. Don't do anything and just watch. First couple videos didn't do anything, but it's really good. His next video got, I think 15 million views, and the video after that got 20 million views. All of a sudden he has 300,000, 400,000 followers. and it blew up his YouTube, and everything's kind of blowing up.
Yeah.
And that's just repurposing. So, and I'll give a little tidbit of what he's doing now, but what's happening with him is he's just repurposing. And since he's so talented, it doesn't matter where he puts it. So if you've put the work into telling a story, because telling a story is where it's at now. Can you get that hook? Same on LinkedIn. He knows how to do that. And he doesn't need to be talented or spend a lot of time. He needs to be talented. He doesn't need to spend a lot of time making custom content for a platform. He just needs to spread it everywhere. And now he's got deals in different platforms because people see his stuff, and he's blown up now. And that's a lesson. So A, you need to learn how to be good at it. And then B, you just need to post and just experiment. So it's huge for him. Now he's getting deals. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think that's the same with any social media platform, is sometimes just do it, embrace the fear. And if that first post you share, wherever it is, just goes nowhere, fine, do it again, just keep going. And you need to, and this is the thing with social media, I think more broadly, it's just the economy of now, and it's this generation of X Factor and being famous in 15 minutes and I want it now. For the most part, this takes time and effort, and does not happen overnight, and it may not ever happen, and in some cases nor should it necessarily happen. And I really like your points and your advice around the diversification of platforms. Don't necessarily just focus on the one, but I always refer to fish where the fish are. And if you don't understand where your fish are, then you don't actually understand what platform to go fishing in. And it could well be you shouldn't be on TikTok at all. I mean, I think most organizations should be considering it, because if anything, their future employees are on there, and that's how they want to engage in short form content, even if it's just to understand this is now how content is being consumed. And to your point, I can lose hours of my life watching 60-second videos, like, oh crap, I should have gone to sleep now.
Very easy. Oh my gosh, story of my life. Yep. It's research. Research.
That's what I keep telling myself. So it's around actually understanding where your audience is, and then B, kind of having that outcome. What are you actually trying to achieve by being on here? Because if you don't, in my view, if you don't understand that, you're going to fail at whatever it is you're doing if you don't really understand what the end end goal was. From your perspective, initially it was being on there and learning, and then it was going on there with ants just to actually figure this stuff out. How does it actually work? Now we understand how this works. You've actually been able to monetize it, which is sweet, right?
Yeah. I'd say that it's really about community. And on TikTok, it's about community. The ant community, I've kind of ruined it a little bit, but just by doing certain things, by testing and messing around with things. But I'll give you another little story and insight into how TikTok works to help the business community out there. This is relevant, I swear. But there's a lady I've met, and I've seen her post time and time again, trying to become an influencer, maybe 2,000 views per post, which is generally decent. Then she had a post get like 30 million views, and it was random. It went viral and everybody saw it. And then all of a sudden her post after that started to get 2,000 again. And she gained 400,000 followers off of one video. Problem is, if you're posting, she went viral for one reason. And if she doesn't post about that again, she's not going to get the same result because her followers wanted that.
Got you.
So like if you're posting about an orange, and all of a sudden you post about a lemon, and the lemon goes viral, but you're an orange company, you're stuck. I mean, it's good. You got those followers that kind of like oranges, but so you need to understand, you need to build community. I built community around the ants. We did naming. You got to name the ants. You got to name the farm. You got to have fun games and stuff. So it was a younger community and it was fun, but I knew my community. I knew my audience. And that's very critical, because if you don't know your audience, then you're toast. And that's why I made a whole new account, because my audience on ants, even though people knew me from like talking to Gary Vee about the ants, and people knew me for that, but I personally internally wanted to just talk business and talk. So I made a separate account and didn't want to like mix them. And it was a tough decision, but we did it. But for brands, you just got to post about your what's relevant in your lane,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll be fine. Become an authority on TikTok and you'll crush it.
And around community, and I was talking to String Newen around this last year, and how to build. You got to build a community, and then they've got to be engaged. LinkedIn at the moment is very much, we can see what LinkedIn is trying to do, kind of go down that route of driving community, driving the conversation. That for me, I believe, why Clubhouse has blown up in terms of what it is as an app. I think it's going to have some problems if it doesn't start separate conversation around that, because of what I'm seeing at the moment. But in terms of TikTok, from creating that community, yes, obviously you've got to find your niche, stay in your lane, stay on topic, but things like commenting on posts and actual engagements, does that also help drive the behavior of the algorithm? Because my perception is the algorithm on TikTok is one of the fairest out there, because you can have 0 followers, but one can go viral.
No, I like to say a lot of the time for some of my clients is that I like to take the power out of the algorithm.
Right.
Because people want to use the algorithm and they say, I got to figure it out. I got to try to game the system.
Mm-hmm.
There's no gaming. You don't need to game the system if you're putting in work.
Yeah.
And you're actually spending the $1.80, Gary V's $1.80 strategy, where you just go out there and you put your 2 cents on everybody's post. Mm-hmm. That's real. Problem is nobody really does it. So when I was gaining my most, I was out there commenting on everything, and people because it's really interesting on TikTok. If you comment on somebody's post and that post does really well, and your comment was relevant and good, since that post is going viral and gets 40 million views, if you just so happen said something funny, your comment is on the top, and people are gonna like your comment and come back to you. So very relevant.
I hadn't even, the logic of that is so blindingly sensible and stupid, and not stupid in terms, I'm thinking to myself, I'm stupid, I'm an idiot, because that's what I tell people on LinkedIn to do with the news reel at the top right, because that's been pushed by news editors. So if you comment on a post which is getting loads of views and loads of comments, then you are going to be seen by lots of people for free, because LinkedIn is pushing that as part of their editorial team. And of course the logic makes perfect sense now I think about how TikTok works. So I've learned something which I already knew.
Awesome.
I just hadn't translated it into the world of TikTok.
There you go. That's the hack. And think about it this way, because on TikTok, people follow, it's so easy to follow. Yeah. LinkedIn is not easy to follow. TikTok, people follow people all the time. If you, on TikTok, you have to have a very specific beginning of your video. The people, if you're posting like with this little blue ant farm, and I had some personal journey, this blue had to be in the first frame. If it wasn't, and it was just this space, the post was terrible. I had to come to terms with that. It's not about me, it's about the ants, because people came for the blue.
So would that be similar to making sure you've got a nailed down thumbnail on YouTube? The same kind of equivalent. You've got to grab the attention of, hey, this looks interesting. And so because people associate the blue ant farm with you, they see that, it automatically kind of subconsciously, just the brain goes, I already know what this, bit like your oranges and lemons, right? Yeah. I want to see lemons, I don't want to see oranges. But if I see oranges, got you. Okay. And again, I hadn't considered that, because I just chuck my content on my corporate channel, and it's just my mugshot here in terms of what's what. I'm able to start thinking about what thumbnail per se, or that frame.
I'm going to be holding an ant farm.
Which is actually pushed up there. Where do you? This is a very difficult question to answer, but short form video content and kind of TikTok, but also from what you're seeing and your understanding from your community, is this kind of style here to stay? And we saw what happened with Vine and Twitter. And what I love about that, I'm now starting to see some of the old characters from Vine that I was following way back when, popping up on TikTok. I'm like, yes, you're back.
Great. David Dobrik.
I think that this short form, the 15-second content is insane. The 60-second content is okay. I kind of get it, because that's the ephemeral messaging from Snapchat. Is this here to stay in your view? Do you think, in terms of a content?
I mean, it's proven. People's attention spans are getting shorter. Notifications go off. I go to TikTok now. People don't think about it, but I go to TikTok now to learn. Like YouTube, the primary viewer on YouTube they want to learn something. I think 66% of people on YouTube want to learn. So that's why they're going to YouTube. But they don't think about TikTok. I go to TikTok for a drink if I want to make, or how to do something, how to change my oil. You can go to how to change your oil in 60. You're going to learn in 60 seconds. You're going to get straight to it, and you're going to know it. And it's perfect. It's the best. It really gets people just to get to the point. We're on YouTube. You've got the intro. You've got the fluffy, cool little transition, and then you get into the whole thing. Right? Like,
it's just me.
I don't have time for that right now. Yeah. So you know what? I just want to get a cool recipe. Like, and then boom. Oh, this video has 20 million views and it must be good.
Yeah.
You know, the herd mentality. So
really
yeah, it's here to stay. There's I think 13 platforms right now trying to copy TikTok.
I mean, it doesn't. I mean, you just look at what Facebook did with Instagram Reels. It's like, this is literally just exactly the same, in terms of
good, yeah.
content. And I'd never thought about using, because I use YouTube. You know, when something breaks in the house, you go to YouTube, right? Boiler fix this, save yourself money. I hadn't necessarily considered that there'll be those types of videos on TikTok. And of course, the one thing the trend that is now blowing up at the moment is the tortilla wrap. Have you seen that one? With
Which one's that?
So you cut it, so it's a tortilla wrap.
Oh, yeah.
You cut it into quarters, and then you fold, put it into the toaster. I'm not doing this at home in terms of how I do it. I'm like, kids, right, you're no longer rolling this up. This is how you're going to eat wraps moving forward.
Yeah. I showed my wife. She's like, what? This is awesome. Yeah.
I was years
Game
old.
changer. Yeah, it's a game changer. You know, I wanted to make one point that's really good for brands thinking about this is on that comment post. Not to kind of derail this, but it's very important when I was saying, like, or when you were mentioning, like, we should comment on others' posts to be relevant again and also get more push. It's very critical when you are commenting outward, because if people maybe forgot about you, but they follow the same person, as opposed, like, they may remember you again.
Yeah.
Because in TikTok, you're following so quickly, people forget who they follow. They want to follow a story, but they can't remember the username.
Yeah. It's
so common that you just can't. You try to find that video, it's impossible to find. TikTok's terrible at that.
Yeah.
So once you follow somebody, you got to really be. That's why people either go like this or they go like that and disappear, because you have to be relevant all the time. But if you're commenting on big creators' posts, because people are more than likely consuming, and they see your username at the top, oh, I forgot about the ants. Happens all the time. Oh my God, what happened to you? You're still going? You're crazy, you know? So it keeps you relevant. I posted 700 videos on ants. Yeah, I'm insane. But like, you get relevant again. But what's interesting, and it's the proof is in the pudding, I haven't been doing that on my ants account. I split my work. So my ants account is not getting the traction it used to at all. I'm not doing that posting anymore. I'm focusing more on, I actually have clients now. I'm servicing clients as opposed to making TikToks. But
I think that's it's really valuable. I totally agree. It also, again, the logic makes sense to things like, you know, again, talking about LinkedIn, that's kind of my main lane, understanding that. But why LinkedIn is driving towards comments and community. You comment on people's posts, those comments are there, people see you. Oh, I remember Alex, I remember Rob, or, oh, look, he's at that job, or he's at that, or she's at that company. The logic does work across all the platforms. I'm going to start commenting more on TikTok. Absolutely. I've started to try it on my personal account, because that just gives me more freedom to kind of do what I want to do, rather than a corporate account. I have to kind of think. And I've already started to notice people. It was like some guy had a Mavic Pro that it hit a tree, it fell into, I think there was a passerby, got it, threw it into a lake, and you see a picture of the fish going by. So I was one of the first people to comment on it, said, nice shot of the fish. That was 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was still getting people liking that comment, because it was just a nice comment of the fish. But I'm going to start to do more of that on my corporate side, in the right categories to be doing that. But what would be for anybody listening to this, either as an individual who's not sure about TikTok, whatever you're a solopreneur, SDR, AE, independent consultant like me, lawyer, accountant who's thinking about TikTok, or maybe you're you sit in the marketing team of a big brand, or you could be a leader who's thinking about, this TikTok, should we give it a go? What would be your kind of top, to recap kind of what we discussed, what would be your top 3 things for them to consider or do?
Well, it's different per group, that's for sure.
Yep.
But number one across all is just getting started.
Yep.
If you were the first brand to get started on TikTok, because brands were scared of TikTok, and this will be a tiny mini story in the 3, but brands are scared of TikTok. It was going to get banned. But TikTok's going to grow even bigger now because the ban is kind of gone. Like they're not thinking about it anymore. So the big brands, the money's coming in, kind of like Bitcoin. As soon as the money comes in, it goes. It's kind of the opposite on social platforms, because the money's going to come in, the ads are going to come in, and your engagement, or not your engagement, but your organic reach is going to go down. So you got to get in while right now. The iron is still extremely hot, and just be relevant. So first of all, it's just getting started. And really just the first tip I would say is just stare at the app for 10 hours or so, or 20, and just look at it. I consumed for 3 months just watching it and taking notes, content ideas. Oh, wow. Okay. This is how this person's doing it. This is how this person's doing it. Everybody's different. So I'm going to do it my own way. It's not stealing. It's just taking a trend and putting your spin on it. That's all TikTok is. What's that?
That's what Gary Vee says. He says, just pick up, copy trends. Yeah, do it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, if you need to give credit because it's something so like you're totally just copying it, then give credit. Whatever makes you feel good and sleep at the end of the day. But number one, it's get started. Number two, it's just consume it and just understand that platform. It could be, and Gary Vee says it all the time, it could be this one or it could be another one, but you have to understand the community. Each one's different. I'm doing a test post that's coming out in a couple days where I'm posting the same piece of content that got maybe 500,000 views on TikTok and putting it on all the other 13 clones just straight away and seeing which one does the best. And I think Snapchat's in the lead right now for that test. But anyway, that's the second one, is just consuming. And the third one is just adapting to the trends and just seeing how it fits within your niche. And if you need examples, I literally have a spreadsheet of 1,000 different accounts I have logged by like different niche and segment that says like, okay, here's the food people, and here's the B2B people, and here's the, I have it all logged, because TikTok, there's no real easy way to see what people are doing, right? So I have like a whole, I should sell it probably,
Awesome.
a whole Rolodex.
That's fantastic. Well, Rob, really appreciate your time. And I know you and I could talk about this for forever, but I also appreciate you do have a day job to
get my workout in.
Obviously, I'll put the handles for you on TikTok for those that are on TikTok for them to go and find you. Where else can they connect with you if they want to learn a little bit more? Maybe you can talk to them about that spreadsheet that they may or may not be able to access, subject to obviously commercial arrangements, etc.
A lot of work in that one.
There's a lot of work's gone into that. Where else might they can I direct them to?
Yeah, no, thanks. I think for now it's just Rob Flaska on Instagram. Just hit me up on DMs. I'm not that active there, but I'm very active in DMs. I'm commenting and going back to everybody. I'm not posting a lot, but that's the place to talk if you have questions on TikTok. Also, LinkedIn's more my other business, so we'll see. Eventually it'll convert, but we'll see here.
Perfect.
But thank you. This was amazing. I had so much fun.
Rob, thank you so much for your time today, and for all my listeners listening in wherever in the world you are, I hope you stay well and safe. For everybody watching, hello, goodbye, and you know where to find me. I'll put where to find Rob and the ants. Don't forget to give the ants a shout out. We've all learned something new today, antfluencer, so you can use that in your pub quizzes. It's a word that exists, but for now, Rob, thank you so much, and to everybody listening, I'll see you on the flip side.
Take care.